I am so excited to be able to have a few minutes to talk with you, Kimberly, about Home with Help, about the Empower and Elevate conference, and about the mission behind your business. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Catherine. Thanks for having me. I am Kimberly Mitchell. I own Home with Help, which is a non-medical home care agency here in the Valley. This is the end of my 11th year. We have about
Wow.
200 uh, employees around the Valley. So we have clients, everywhere. East side, west side, north, south, all the places.
That is awesome. And that's such an accomplishment to, first of all, grow your business to as big as you have grown it and to be as established as you are. Because, we all know that businesses fail within the first 5 years of their existence. And so tell people what non-medical home help is.
So we deal with the daily, what we refer to as ADL. So it's the adult daily living skills. So the bathing, dressing, prepping meals, transportation, to the store to get their hair done, the doctor's appointments, some laundry, some light housekeeping, anything, uh, grooming. We have some clients that are relatively independent and they just
Mhm.
need 2 or 3 days a week, and we're in there for 5 hours each day. Pretty, I'll say, basic duties. And then we have clients that we have 24/7 that they have a Hoyer lift. We have to get them out of bed, we have to get them dressed,
Yeah.
toileting, like we have to do everything. So, and
Yeah.
then obviously everything in between, just not anything medical. So we don't do wound care or physical therapy or any of that kind of stuff. Not yet,
Okay.
anyway.
Awesome. And I having been through taking care of my grandmother who was in the beginning stages of Alzheimer's, and then also my mother-in-law during the last few years of her life. And she was relatively mobile until probably I would say maybe the last year or so of her life. And then it was more physical. And it seems like it would be intuitive on how to help, lift a person or help them,
Mm,
but it's not. I mean, I remember helping
mhm.
her into the restroom and she got wobbly and I, had grabbed her arm and luckily I didn't injure her. But if somebody was more frail, it could have injured her. And just having that resource would have been phenomenal had I known about it. We were up in Seattle at the time, but having that resource of somebody who actually knows how to transfer somebody or how to,
Mm,
help them shower. Um, I'm not trained in that. So, and a lot of
right.
times we're kind of thrust into that position of caring for our loved ones. And
Mhm.
I just think it's amazing that you have this company that can assist with that.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, if we're the ones that are hiring a caregiver to help with somebody, there's loads of training that they, would have had to have gone through. Um, Arizona, so I have a private pay side of the business, and then I have the Medicaid state side of the business. And Arizona is one of the states in the nation. I don't know why they all don't do it, but not my job to make those rules. But we are one that will allow for a family member to become a paid caregiver through the Medicaid program.
Oh,
And so
wow.
then they would get, I mean, they're likely doing the job like you were,
Exactly. Yes.
unpaid, and that's, typical. Um, for somebody that like you, if you just needed a little bit of training, there's associations and organizations that have some family support, if you will,
Mhm.
like the Alzheimer's Association. They have a fabulous program for somebody that's trying to do some of that stuff on their own and not, you know, they don't
Yes.
they don't want somebody coming in if they can't afford it or whatever that looks
Right.
like.
Yeah. One of the things that I didn't realize, because my grandmother, before she moved in with us, she was living, in her own home and was fairly, other than not being able to see because she was legally blind, she was fairly independent. But, and I don't know if this is with all old people, but for my grandmother, the older she got, the less she slept. And so she was at home by herself and she would maybe only sleep 4 or 5 hours a night. So she had 19 hours a day if I didn't happen to come over by herself. And that loneliness is a big deal.
Mm,
And having somebody like yourself, to come in and just take them out to lunch or take them, to do errands or walk around the mall or whatever is so
mhm.
helpful because it is a lot. And, at the time I had 3 kids that I was raising all under the ages of probably I think they were all under the ages of 8. And so, it was challenging, but I'm so glad that there's resources like this out there. And you had spoken at NABO about, a little bit about elder care and the services that you offer and how, for example, getting rid of throw rugs. And I
Right?
I
It's a
love it, but
real
that's
it's a struggle.
yes, it's a struggle, but things like that somebody my age is not going to think about, oh, that could be a tripping hazard for them. And so
Mhm.
there's so many little things that I don't think about because I'm not in that space that you guys are able, as you come in and you're caring for a loved one, are able to say, hey, you might want to get rid of that area rug because that could be, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
having that second set of eyes or that second person in there to help take care of not only the physical needs, but the emotional needs and the loneliness, I would imagine as is just as important.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we don't know what we don't know until we know.
Exactly, yes.
And yeah, the companionship part is like the companionship for, or like, I mean, for me, I should have said that as part of the service, but it just goes, like it's just unsaid. Like it's just
Yeah,
part of every time they're with them, whether they're helping them to prep a meal or whether they're helping them with, something physical, like, bathing or taking them somewhere or whatnot. But I mean, having some interaction with another human, especially the ones living on their own, that they don't have adult kids here anymore, or,
right.
they moved away or they moved here or whatever the case may be. And sometimes we're it. Sometimes our caregivers are the only ones that are in there, which is unfortunate because it's nice when there's like a team effort and
Sure.
there's other people. But yeah, I mean, the companionship part is just should be part of every shift.
Yes, for sure, and I'm sure that I know that your team definitely does that. And so I wanted to ask you why? Why did you decide to start this business?
Well, let's see. It's a long story, but so the shortest version, we were not living here, and every time I would come up, I just could kind of see the decline. So I had a great grandmother pass away at 103 when I was
Oh my gosh.
25 years old. I know.
Wow.
Yeah, I had my last living grandmother was 95, and then I don't remember how old my other one was, 90 something, 91, whatever. Both of my grandfathers got in past 80, but not by a lot. One had Parkinson's, and so anyway, every time I'd come up and I have two daughters, and when they were super little and would come up, we just kind of would see they had to get my great grandmother onto the Medicaid program, and eventually she was in a not the nicest facility ever. And the one family, my yaya, my mom's mom was always like she was the caretaker that
Mm,
I think, sometimes they end up suffering more than the actual person that they're helping because it's
yes.
exhausting and stressful and all the things. So we just got a spectrum of all the sort of elderly kind of issues, and figured that we could do it better. Hopefully, after almost 11 years, we are.
I'm sure you are. I think that is so important that, I love that it came out of, seeing that need and meeting the need, of helping our elders, and I love, that I just had so much respect for my grandparents and I really and veterans and all those people that have given so selflessly and then you know they should not be forgotten about. They need to have the level of care that they should be getting um, and so I just applaud you and applaud your company. And I can't even imagine like all the facets that you've had to work through as far as, you know, dealing with Medicaid and, doing all the different things. It's not just having somebody show up in your loved one's home. There's so much more to it. And I just really appreciate that your family stepped up and you've
Mhm.
had this service for our elders. And it's funny because the older I get, the more I'm like, dang, I'm going to need that someday.
Yeah. And
and
if we're
um,
lucky enough to live long enough, we likely are going to need something.
exactly,
Like, hopefully
exactly.
it's minimal, if
Yes,
you're mentally and physically, doing well. I mean, sooner or later, like I'm not gonna be able to drive. And
right. Yeah, it's
even
a
if most
reality,
of the
but we don't.
other things, right, like it is what it is. So just hopefully it's my clients, I tell my kids all the time because we have longevity big time on both sides of the family.
Yeah,
And I'm like, you are likely, if the proverbial bus doesn't get you, you're gonna get into your 90s. But I have 90-year-old clients that are still relatively vibrant and they need some assistance, but they're not like achy and grumpy and all those things. And I have clients that are 25 years younger than them that they're a hot mess. They
yeah,
haven't taken care of themselves physically, like and they don't feel good, which of course then it's hard to, you know, be
yeah,
happy when you're
right.
like in pain all the time.
Yeah,
And it's, so I was like, what kind of my client would you like to be when you get older? It's a
exactly. Yes.
question.
It is a fair question. Yes. So you are the Prosecco sponsor, and you have been for the Empower and Elevate conference. Probably, I don't know if it's been since the beginning or not, but you've done it
Yes.
several times. We have the conference twice a year. So, why do you want to keep participating in the Empower and Elevate conference? What is it that draws you to it?
Well, the women, generally speaking,
Yes.
the connections, and the speakers are always very informative and, educational and, just meeting more, just building your network.
Yes.
Um, and I'm always a champagne sponsor because I just want to make sure that it's there at the end of the day.
Good plan. Love it.
Just in case no one else is going to step up to do it, I'm going to make sure that it's done.
I
Because
love it. And I know
it's
that
a
the
lovely
ladies
day,
really
but
love
it's still long.
Yeah. I know that the ladies really love it too. I think it's just a great touch that we have that at the end of the conference and, everybody's had a full day of networking and learning and
Mhm.
everything. And then just to have that little time at the very end to have those conversations that you maybe weren't able to have during the day with people and be able to grab a glass of champagne or non-alcoholic, whichever you prefer, and it just kind of it's just a great way to close out the day. So I
Mhm.
really appreciate you stepping up and doing that so that we can make sure that we have that for everybody to enjoy. Why don't you tell everybody how they can get a hold of you?
So our website is homewithhelp.net. So HOMEWITHHELP.net. And then on that site, you can connect on Facebook or LinkedIn, our email. There's, a chat on there for, submission for questions. And there's Instagram. I mean, pretty much anything you can think of is all on the website.
Perfect. Awesome. That's so great. Well, thank you so much for taking this time with me. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited. I cannot believe the conference is coming up so quickly. I think it's like 3 weeks from Friday. So it's blowing my mind, but super excited that you're going to be there. I love to be able to have the opportunity um, to interact with all these wonderful women and women like you that are running very successful businesses and that can offer so many resources and help. And that's what it's all about at the Empower and Elevate conference, is to be able to be around women that are cheering you on and there to share resources and to help you in your journey. And I just love that you keep showing up and you keep doing that.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You
I'll,
bet.
I'll see you soon.
Yes, you will. Thank you.
Thank you.